everyone chases pleasure. He discovered that's exactly why they're miserable. Epicurus, an ancient Greek philosopher who spent his entire life studying one question: what actually makes people happy? Not what we think makes us happy. What actually does. And what he found contradicts everything society tells you. Because most people think happiness comes from getting what they want. More money, more success, more pleasure, more everything. But Epicurus watched people get everything they wanted and still be miserable. And he realized something radical. The chase is the problem. The wanting is the suffering. And real happiness doesn't come from getting more, it comes from needing less. So let's go back. About 2300 years ago, ancient Greece, Athens specifically, everyone's chasing the same things: wealth, status, pleasure, power, all the usual stuff. Because everyone believes more is better, that happiness comes from accumulation, from having everything. And then there's Epicurus, watching all of this, seeing wealthy people who are empty, successful people who are anxious, people with everything who want more, always more, never satisfied, never content, never actually happy. And he starts asking why. Why do people who have so much still suffer? Why does getting what you want not make you happy? Why does more never feel like enough? And he realizes something. People confuse pleasure with happiness. They think if they just get enough pleasure, they'll be happy. So they chase it. Constantly, more food, more drink, more sex, more entertainment, more everything that feels good. But what happens? The pleasure fades. Always, it feels good for a moment, then it's gone. And you're left wanting more, chasing the next thing, the next hit, the next moment of feeling good. You're addicted to pleasure. And that addiction is suffering, not happiness. So Epicurus makes a distinction. He says there are two types of pleasure: the kind that comes from getting something, and the kind that comes from not suffering. And most people only know about the first kind. So they spend their lives chasing it, and they're miserable. But, he says, the second kind, the absence of suffering, that's real pleasure. That's actual happiness, not the high of getting something, the peace of not needing anything, not the thrill of more, the calm of enough. He starts teaching this, saying that the goal of life isn't to maximize pleasure, it's to minimize pain. And the biggest pain most people experience isn't physical, it's mental. It's the constant wanting, the endless desire for more, the suffering that comes from never being satisfied. He moves to a simple garden outside Athens, lives there with friends. They eat basic food, have simple possessions, don't chase wealth or status or any of the things society says you need. And people think they're crazy, think they're wasting their lives, think they're settling. But Epicurus and his friends, they're happy, actually happy, not chasing happiness, not hoping to be happy someday, just happy right now, today, with what they have. And everyone else is confused. How can these people with almost nothing be happier than people with everything? And Epicurus explains. He says most people are slaves to their desires. They think they're free because they can buy things, can go places, can do whatever they want. But they're not free. They're controlled by wanting, by the constant need for more, by the fear of not having enough. But in his garden, they're free. Not because they can have anything, but because they don't need anything beyond the basics. Food, shelter, friends, that's it. Everything else is extra. Nice if you have it, but not necessary for happiness. And that freedom from needing, that's real freedom. He said, do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Think about that. Everything you have right now, you once desperately wanted. your phone, your home, your job, whatever it is. At some point, you didn't have it. And you wanted it, badly, and getting it made you happy. For like a day, maybe a week. But then you got used to it. Stopped appreciating it. Started wanting the next thing. The upgrade, the better version. The thing you don't have yet. And now you're suffering again. Not because you don't have enough, but because you're focused on what's missing instead of what's here. Epicurus says that's the trap. That's what destroys happiness. Not lack of things. Lack of appreciation for things. Not poverty of possessions. Poverty of contentment. You have enough right now, but you can't see it. Because you're too busy wanting more. And he proves this by living it. He has basic food, and he's satisfied. Not settling, not suffering. Actually satisfied. Because he's not comparing his meal to some perfect meal. He's just eating, and appreciating that he's not hungry. That he has food. That this simple thing is enough. Meanwhile, wealthy people in Athens have elaborate feasts. The best food money can buy. And they're not satisfied, because they're comparing. Always comparing. This meal to the last meal. Their food to someone else's food. What they have to what they want. And that comparison creates suffering, not pleasure. Epicurus also teaches about fear. He says most people are controlled by fear. Fear of not having enough. Fear of losing what they have. Fear of death. Fear of punishment. And all these fears create constant suffering, constant anxiety, constant stress. But he says these fears are based on lies. You don't need as much as you think. Losing things isn't as bad as you imagine. Death is nothing to fear because you won't experience it, and no gods are punishing you. These fears are just stories, and you can let them go, and when you do, when you stop being controlled by wanting and fearing, what's left? Peace, contentment, the absence of suffering. And that, Epicurus says, is real pleasure, is actual happiness, not the high of getting, the calm of being. Now let's bring this to your life, because you're probably chasing pleasure the wrong way. You're probably thinking happiness is out there in something you don't have yet. Some achievement, some possession, some experience. And once you get it, then you'll be happy. But Epicurus is telling you that's a lie. You're already chasing things you once wanted desperately. You already have things you thought would make you happy, but they didn't. Not for long. Because the problem isn't what you have. It's how you relate to what you have. Think about what you want right now. Really think about it. Why do you want it? What do you think it'll give you? And be honest. You probably think it'll make you happy. Finally satisfied. Finally enough. But Epicurus would ask you, why isn't what you have now enough? Why are you suffering from not having this thing? What pain are you in right now, in this moment, that this thing will solve? And usually, the answer is none. You're not actually in pain, you're just wanting. And you've confused wanting with needing, desire with suffering. He teaches you to examine this, to ask yourself, what do I actually need? Not want, need, to not be in pain, to not suffer, and the answer is usually very little. Food, shelter, safety, some human connection. That's about it. Everything else is extra. And once you see this, once you realize how little you actually need, you become free. Free from the constant chase. Free from the anxiety of not having enough. Free from the fear of losing what you have. Because you know you'll be okay. You know what actually matters, and you have it. This doesn't mean never want anything. Doesn't mean never improve your life. Doesn't mean settle for suffering. It means stop making your happiness depend on getting things you don't have. Stop suffering from wanting. Stop thinking more will finally be enough. Epicurus had access to wealth, to luxury, to everything Athens could offer, and he chose simplicity. Not because he couldn't have more, but because more wasn't making people happy. More was making them slaves, and he wanted freedom. Real freedom. The kind that comes from needing almost nothing, and in his simple garden, eating basic food, living with friends, he found it. Found happiness that didn't depend on circumstances, that didn't require wealth, that couldn't be taken away, because it wasn't based on having things. It was based on not needing things. That's available to you, right now. Not by getting more, by appreciating what you have, by recognizing that what you have is enough, by stopping the endless chase and just being here, present, satisfied, free. Most people will never do this. They'll keep chasing, keep thinking the next thing will finally satisfy them, keep suffering from wanting instead of enjoying what they have, and they'll die still chasing, still wanting, still thinking happiness is just around the corner. But you can be different. You can learn what Epicurus learned, that happiness isn't in getting, it's in not needing, that pleasure isn't in the high, it's in the peace, that freedom isn't in having everything, it's in needing almost nothing. Look at what you have right now. Your basic needs are probably met. You're probably not in actual pain right now. You probably have enough. The suffering you feel, it's probably not from lack, it's from wanting, from comparing, from thinking you need more, and that suffering is optional. You can let it go. You can choose to be satisfied, to be free, to be happy with enough. That's the truth about happiness, Epicurus discovered. It's not out there waiting for you to find it. It's right here, waiting for you to stop looking, stop chasing, stop wanting more than you have, and just be satisfied with this, with now, with enough, because enough is already here. You just can't see it while you're busy chasing more. Subscribe for more ancient truths that free you from chasing what you already have.